Okay, everybody, here's your real world decimals video. This is the first one, so that's why it says 1 on the top. Make sure you have your notes in front of you. And a quick reminder, your job is to be taking the notes down that you see on the screen here. You're not just following along. You have to prove to me that you get what's going on by actually taking the notes down. So here we go. Evan bought a bag of Jolly Ranchers for $4.50, a pack of gum for $2.79. He paid with a $10 bill. How much change should he get? So the first thing you ought to be worried about is how much was the bill, right? How much is he paying total? So we're going to add the two things that he bought. We're going to add these two up. Quick reminder, when I'm adding or subtracting decimals, I need to line those guys up. So I'm lining those guys up like so. First thing we're going to do when we do that is not add them up. First thing we're going to do is bring down the decimal, follow the bouncing ball, make sure that's the first thing you do. The reason is that way we don't have to think about it again. It's all done. It's all done. 9 and 0 is 9. 7 and 5 is 12. Carry that 1. And 2 and 4 and 1 gives you 7. So 729. 729 is not the answer. 729 is the amount of money that we spent. So if we have $10 and we spent $7.29, we got to subtract the $7.29 from the $10. Remember that. Remember that. $7.29 subtracted from the $10. Where you have $10, we're taking $7.29 away from it. So this kids get tangled up with this a little bit. You see that 10? There's actually a decimal after it. So if you look up here, this 10 is a whole number. You don't see anything there, but I can put a decimal after it if I need to. Any whole number ever, you can put a decimal at the end of it. So if we do that, now I can just put my 729 underneath. I can line that up. Okay, I can always line that up now. So put that decimal, make sure that goes after any whole number you need. All right, you can fill the zeros in if you like. Some people like that, some people don't. So I'm going to give you a way to be efficient here. So be careful. Stay with me. Trust me. I'm going to give you a way to be much more efficient than you were in the past. So follow the bouncing ball. Here it comes. Make sure that decimal goes down first. Yes, you are writing all this down. So I'm not able to do 0 minus 9, so I need some help. So I need to borrow this way. So before you start doing all your crazy crossing out and all that weird stuff, if I look at this number here, so my decimals are done. I'm not paying attention to this decimal or this decimal because I already brought it down, so they're all done. If I look at this number here, it looks to me like it's a 100. So think about that for a second. This is a 100, and I need to borrow because I'm going to put something for this. I want this 0 to become a 10. Everybody thinks like that, right? So you want this 0 to become a 10. So why can't I just borrow 1 from the 100? If I borrow 1 from 100, doesn't that make it 99? And that 1 still gets put over here. Okay, so that 1 still becomes a 10. Now in the past, you've done this. Holy moly. You've done this whole do this and make this and 10 and do this and do that. Oh my goodness, please don't do that. Please, please, please don't do that. So let's go through that one more time. I want this 0 to be a 10, and instead of doing all this, whatever this madness is over here, I'm not going to borrow from everything. This looks to me like it's a 100. I am going to borrow 1 from the 100, make it a 99, and carry my 1 over to make that a 10. Please, 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 please be as efficient as possible. Now you can do your subtraction. 10 minus 9 is 1, 9 minus 2 is 7, and 9 minus 7 is 2. So we started with a $10 bill. We subtracted our total of $7.29, giving us $2.71. Yes, of course, we circle our answers around here. Please go back and listen to that again so that you know how to be efficient with all those zeros. And we're moving on. So here's a whole number, and we're subtracting. So remember what we said. The 7 can always have a decimal behind it. Follow the bouncing ball here. 7 has a decimal behind it. So in this case, we want to add a 0. We can. You don't have to. You can put that 0 in if you need to. Let's line them up vertically. This is a little note telling you that we can do that. So you can stop and write that down. I'm not going to do that. Realize that we put the 0 in here to line these up. Okay, but really the decimals did that for us. So if you don't like that 0, you don't have to put it. Of course, we put the decimal in first, of course. 0 minus 6, we're not able to do that, so we're borrowing from the 7. That should be simple, basic. You've done that for years. 10 minus 6 is 4. 6 minus 2 is 4. Okay, so that's whole numbers subtracting decimals, whole numbers subtracting decimals. You're going to need to make sure you can do that. Stop, go back if you need to. I'm moving. All right, here we go. Changing it up a little bit. Kyle buys 4 CDs at the store, $9.99 a piece. If he has two $20 bills, how much money should he get back in change if there is no tax? Stop the video. You try this one on your own. Okay, now that we're back, I'm going to give this one a shot on here. So he has 4 CDs that are $9.99. He also has 2 $20 bills. So the total amount of money he has is 40 bucks, right? That kind of would be a pretty important item. So he bought 4 CDs at $9.99. So a lot of you will do this. That's fine. 9 times 4 is 36. 9 times 4 is 36, plus 3 is 39. 9 times 4 again is 36, plus 3 again is 39. Okay, so where are we going to put that decimal? When you multiply, we can't just bring a decimal down when we're multiplying. There are 2 numbers after the decimal point. So that's what you have to do every time. You count how many numbers after the decimal point. So how many are at the decimal point here? I have 2, so that means I start from the right here, and I move in 2 places. That's where my decimal point's going to go. Even though my smartboard won't let me put it there. So 39.96, and we're talking about dollars. Okay? We haven't answered the question yet, and I'm going to show you a way to be more efficient before we answer the question. If I'm going to multiply 4 times $9.99, $9.99 is super close to $10, right? So can I just in my noodle say 10 times 4 is 40? And look what I did here. $9.99 is 1 cent away from $10, right? And I used 4 of those. So think about that for a second. $9.99 is 1 cent away from 10, and I used 4 of those. So I used 4 cents. So can I just take 4 cents away from this? Can I have $40? And can I just take 4 cents away? By the way, 4 cents looks like that. If I subtract these, let's be efficient here. I want this to be a 10, don't I? So can I look at this as a 400 and make this 399? I sure can. The decimal should have been brought down already. 10 minus 4 is 6, and these are 9s. I don't know about you. This looks a whole lot more efficient to me. Is this fine? Nothing wrong with this. But this took about 5 seconds. This took about 1 minute. So that's up to you. All right, let's answer the question here. How much money should he get back in change? Well, we kind of figured that out already, didn't we, over here? Interesting. If you did it this way, you would say $39.96, and we had 40 bucks in the first place. So $40. Wow, that's dumb board. $40 minus $39.96. I'm going to rewrite this so we don't get totally whacked out here. So if we subtract this, same thing we just said over here with all my colors to the right. I want this 0 to be a 10. This looks like 400 to me. I'm going to cross 400 out, and I'm going to, if I borrow 1 from 400, it becomes 399. I forgot my decimal again. Should have done that in the first place. 10 minus 6 is 4. 9 minus 9 is a goose egg. 9 minus 9 is a goose egg. 3 minus 3 is a goose egg. We're talking about 4 cents. So how much change should we get back? 4 cents. Interestingly enough, if we are efficient, 4 cents. Go back if you need to. Be efficient. Last one. Try it on your own. All right, here we go. Whole number's 12. I can put a decimal at the end of the whole number. I can put a 0 if I want. I can put as many zeros as I want to. I'm going to line these up vertically by their decimals. Bring your decimal down. 0 minus 5 I'm not doing. I'm not borrowing from the 2 and taking an hour to do this. I'm going to borrow from the 12. If I take 1 from 12, it becomes 11. If I bring that 1 with me, it's a 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 11 minus 4 is 7. 7.5 or 7 and 5 tenths. Ooh, look, I had this one on here. Let me erase my junk and you can actually see what it's supposed to look like. So please go back, be as efficient as you possibly can, and do the back side for homework. Thank you very much.